Welcome to the Troll Patrol live. Now, I haven't been starting off the show with Reefer and a rant lately, and it's been because I haven't really had anything to rant about, but boy do I have something to rant about tonight, so let me get fucking high so I can go off on this motherfucker right here. You can see the story up on the screen. If you're referring to the plot against Gretchen Whitmer in Michigan, we're going to get to that. Holy shit, what a day it's been. And this is like, I just saw this as I'm coming on the air. Trump suggests that the Gold Star families that he met with on Sunday after the Rose Garden event, where he officially nominated Amy Coney Barrett. He says that he met with the Gold Star families on that Sunday, and the Gold Star families, may have given him COVID-19. You know, the families of soldiers that died in war. Not what is being dubbed a super spreader event that happened the day before. Oh, hold on. I already had the video up. Well, shit. Hold on. I got it. Not the super spreader event the day before in the Rose Garden, where Mike Lee right here, who is most certainly positive, is hugging every fucking body. No, that's probably not the thing. That's probably not the event that did it, that gave Donald Trump COVID. It's the next day where he met with the families that were victims of our horrendous foreign policy. Mike Pence has canceled his trip to Indianapolis and says he's going to return to D.C. tonight. He may have already returned. Apparently, he's not feeling too well. And many people during the vice presidential debate last night pointed out that there was an issue with his eye. I didn't know that that's one of the symptoms of COVID, apparently. And I mentioned something about Trump's eye. He may have, they've all fucking got it. He's around all the other motherfuckers that have it. I can't imagine that he doesn't. The whole White House is ate up with it. Now, he was making this trip to Indianapolis apparently for a campaign stop and also to cast his absentee ballot in Indianapolis. So I'm sure he would like to vote for himself. So it would have to be pretty serious if he's going back to Washington. Pence tested negative for COVID-19 this morning. Staff says the change is meant to prevent burnout. You can't believe anything that comes out of this White House, though. We don't know what to believe from Mike Pence, especially this close to the election. I'm just saying, given the fact that he's around all these other people that have it, I would imagine that it's a pretty good possibility that he has it as well. Yeah, burnout. Likely story. I don't believe it. I don't know. What do you guys think? Because, I mean, it's not like he doesn't have a habit of lying. John Brennan says he told a whopper of a lie last night during the vice presidential debate. And I myself said what he was saying didn't match up with reality while we were watching the debate last night. Brennan criticized Pence for touting documents declassified and released by Director of the National Intelligence John Ratcliffe this week. Here's something we need to do. Let's open up the phone lines if you want to call in and tell me I'm stupid. 917-830-4359. I've been poking the hornet's nest today, so hopefully we'll get some people to call in. I would love to argue with you. Bring it. Brennan called the release a politicized release. They said that that's the Republican talking point has been that it's evidence that the Clinton campaign invented allegations that were later examined during the Mueller investigation into meddling. This is just it's not true. From what I've read, it appears that the Senate Intelligence Committee did not want these documents released. And they're Republican. And they said that this is misrepresentation. Brennan says it's a misrepresentation of what his notes actually said because he was the head of the CIA at the time. Notes did not indicate that the Clinton campaign was responsible for the Russia allegations. We know this. There were multiple different instances, and the Senate Intelligence Committee has confirmed this. The Mueller investigation confirmed this. There were over 100 connections between the campaign and Russia. And the Senate Intelligence Committee, Republicans, even went further than that. And yeah, that's another. It did not conclude that there was no obstruction, no collusion. It said that there were over 100 campaign connections to Russia, and then that there were 10 counts of obstruction that prevented them from reaching a conclusion on if there was criminal conspiracy. That's what the Mueller report stated. But hey, it doesn't look like we're going to get a second debate between the presidential candidates after last night's. I don't even know what. Let me talk about the vice presidential debate last night. I was expecting Kamala to come in and chew him up and spit him out. But, you know, reading the comments today, and then even we were watching C-SPAN afterwards last night, hearing what the callers said, she really was walking an impossible line. Where, like, because you guys heard it on C-SPAN, like, everybody called her rude. There was nothing rude about what she did. So I feel really sorry for the tightrope that she had to walk. As of the time that we went on the air, Trump is not dead yet, but we still are on
Trump dies of COVID watch.
We're keeping an eye out for it. We'll let you know if anything breaks. But earlier today, the Commission on Debates, the Presidential Debate Commission, whatever the hell they're called, they said that the second debate would be held virtually. But now Trump, of course, he doesn't want to hold the debate virtually. And the reason why is because he wants to be able to throw Joe Biden off his game. He wants to play into that stutter. Here, let's go ahead. We'll listen to what the president has to say. We're going to get back to that interview with Maria Bartiromo. Or I always fuck her name up. We're going to play another section of that here in a second because he said something else incredibly batshit in the same interview.
Both candidates in separate remote locations. Why? Because the president has coronavirus.
Because you can't trust the president.
Contagious. So the Biden campaign says that the vice president would do it, but President Trump just moments ago said no. Listen.
I heard that the commission a little while ago changed the debate style, and that's not acceptable to us.
You're not going to participate?
I'm going to waste my time on a virtual debate. That's not what debating's all about. You sit behind a computer and do a debate. It's ridiculous. And then they cut you off whenever.
Why not?
Again, that was the
I do it.
The Biden campaign, their statement reads,
you're a pussy if you can't sit behind a computer and do a debate. Come on. I do it every day. 917-830-4359. Call in and tell me I'm stupid.
That has thrown the strong economy he inherited into the worst downturn.
I sure as shit. I thought that too. We'll fix that up. I sure as shit wouldn't do a debate with him unless it was virtual. Because he's proven you can't trust him to be tested, because you would have thought the president had been tested before he came to the debate stage and that you could trust him. But it really seems like Trump was already infected with coronavirus and may have known before the debate. That's just insanely reckless. Because they came in late and they told the commission that they couldn't be tested because they came in late. And the commission just trusted them because they assumed that the president had been tested that day. And maybe he had been. But he's probably too big of a fucking pussy to get the little swab stuck up his nose every day. And he complains about it. And they just give in to the baby. I can't believe the world we live in. And finally, somebody is talking about evoking the 25th Amendment. Nancy Pelosi finally came out today.
America's family farm
plan. And the plan isn't for the president to say that he's a perfect physical specimen. Did he say specimen? Maybe I could agree with that. And young. He said he was young. That his disassociation from reality would be funny if it weren't so deadly.
She's correct.
And his people, these enablers around who are enabling death, the death toll to rise. We have to shed a bright light on what has been possible for months that they chose to ignore because of their contempt for Congress and their disdain for governance. And so that's why, if there's one thing that has to be in this bill that he has never made as a priority, it's crushing the virus. I think that the public needs to know the health condition of the president. Let us see a date, a time, when you last tested negative before you admitted to this virus. Tomorrow, by the way, come here tomorrow. We're going to be talking about the 25th Amendment.
Oh, that's all she said. Oh, okay. She's going to be talking about the 25th Amendment. I don't know. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't even have the video up for you guys to see. But you all heard Nancy Pelosi there. But she doesn't have that power. It's the cabinet.
Tomorrow, come here tomorrow. We're going to be talking about the 25th Amendment.
Now that's a teaser right there. She left us with a cliffhanger. Come here tomorrow. What the fuck is she going to do tomorrow? I'm on the edge of my seat now. It makes for good TV. You got to admit that. Trump already fired back at her with a tweet. Crazy Nancy is the one who should be under observation. They don't call her crazy for nothing. He's the one that calls her crazy. Did the president just tweet out some rando? Does he just scroll through and see randos on Twitter? Is he searching himself? How does he come across these people? Another black female conservative. Is she even a real person?
I woke up this morning and
I guess so.
That election day is almost here. I also came to the realization that if the American people vote out Donald Trump, it can be one of the worst things to happen in American history. See, this video isn't all rah rah, I love Donald Trump, MAGA, MAGA, MAGA. This video is just facts.
Let's hear these facts. Come on.
Democrats and swampy Republicans have been saying that Donald Trump is going to destroy America. That Donald Trump is a racist and a bigot.
He's done a pretty good job at it.
Evil and white supremacist. Where's it at? Where's all the things that they said was going to happen under the...
Well, we are going to talk about a terrorist plot by a white supremacist group in just a few minutes. That was inspired by Donald Trump. He tweeted out, "Liberate Michigan." And lo and behold, a group called the Wolverine... Hold on. What the fuck were they called again? Wolverine Watchmen. Holy shit. And I'd like... We're just finding out about them. I'm going to be reading about it with you guys, and we're going to look. I have one of their guys' social media posts. We're gonna go look at some of his TikTok and shit. So there's your answer, woman. I've got plenty of other examples, but I mean that's a good one. You know, that's pretty relevant on the top of my mind at the moment.
Trump administration at. They said women were going to lose rights, gays would no longer be able to get married, and blacks were going to be reshackled.
The two conservative justices on the Supreme Court just said they need to overturn Oglefeld. Oglefeld. I always fuck it up. I'm sorry. The decision that legalized gay marriage. Where's it at? She's saying. Where's it at? We just did that story last night.
Where's it at? They said Trump supporters were the new KKK. Where's that at?
I don't know. There's a lot of white supremacists. Like Richard Spencer has endorsed Joe Biden because he says Joe Biden is competent. He says the people on the right just aren't competent. It's true. The Trump, when the leader of the neo-Nazis is saying like, hey, like you guys aren't even competent at running the, like, we want a competent government that has fascist policies. We don't want an incompetent government with fascist policies. So we'll vote for the Democrats because they're a little fascist and they're competent. So that's where it's at.
You see, the truth is, everything they said was going to happen under the Trump administration was lies. It was never going to happen.
It happened. I just told you.
They just wanted to fill you up with fear so that you wouldn't vote for Donald Trump. So that you would hate Donald Trump. And so that you would blame the destruction of America on Donald Trump. When in reality, the destruction of America...
Biggest deficit, highest unemployment.
See, who's paying people to burn down America right now?
No one. No one is paying anybody.
To loot, steal, riot, and destroy mom and pop shops. It's them. Who was unhappy when black unemployment was at its lowest? When Latino unemployment was at its lowest? They were.
Nobody. Nobody was unhappy.
To sit at the table with Donald Trump to have a conversation on behalf of the American people, the people they love so much. They refuse. But they manipulated you so much that you think it's Donald Trump's fault, and it's not.
It is Donald Trump's fault. He's the president. He's the one in charge.
Because he's a racist or because he's a Republican, they hate Donald Trump so much because they cannot control him. And that terrifies them. And so they know that they...
There's you a fact.
So they turned around and tried to control us. And unfortunately, it worked. They controlled people. They made people believe that Donald Trump is evil and disgusting. And they used mainstream media. They gave out sound bites to fit their agenda. Yes, let's chop it up. Perfect. Makes it sound like he's racist.
No. You just let him talk and it sounds like he's racist.
Donald Trump speech to a full Donald Trump interview.
I've listened to plenty of full Donald Trump speeches and interviews.
For you to listen to.
He's pretty fucking racist.
I'm sure most of you guys don't even question who the fact checkers are and how they know all the facts. They used puppets, celebrities, Hollywood. They used chaos and they used tragedy to emotionally manipulate you into thinking that the problem is Donald Trump when all along the problem was them. You see, this election is so important, not because Donald Trump is the best man in the whole entire world.
Well, he certainly isn't that. Like, this woman is batshit. This is why I just break down and call right-wingers morons. Because, like, what do I say to that? Everything that she said just, like, defies reality in every way. And if you disagree with me, call in and let me know. 917-830-4359. Somebody go tell Samantha Marquita. Samantha Marika. Hey, maybe I've got more subs than she does. Maybe she'll take the bait. Come on. Oh, I'm not me. I'm Rando Justin Smith. This is not my browser. So here's the crazy ass clip. And she's asking where's it at? Oh, Trump is now open to broad stimulus deal. So that's a breaking news right now because he wanted individual bills, one for the airline industry and one for $1,200 checks. Oh, hold on. I was on the wrong story here. That's why I was confused. So this, Trump actually retweeted a journalist saying that the 25th Amendment is not a coup in response to an idiot saying wouldn't put it past Speaker Pelosi to stage a coup. So, like, he's still on some powerful-ass meds, and he doesn't know what the fuck's going on. He probably doesn't even know what the word coup means. Just like he didn't know what therapeutic meant last night. It was obvious. That man did not know what the word therapeutic means.
Get a real-time...
Now, this is the video, the other side of the Maria Bartiromo interview.
Resistance,
where he starts talking about fucking wanting to arrest Biden and Obama.
Your entire term, and you've taken some real bold action this week, authorizing the disclosure of all of the documents related to the Russia hoax. Sure. Mr. President, we now know from these documents that John Ratcliffe...
I still want to know what exactly was a hoax. Somebody explain that to me.
To tie you to Russia in some way. It was successful. The whole country was talking about it for 2.5 years. But what comes next, Mr. President? We can have all of these documents. We can see exactly what happened. But unless John Durham comes out with a report or indictments, unless Bill Barr comes out with some kind of a ruling here, do you think this is resonating on the American people?
Unless Bill Barr indicts these people for crimes, the greatest political crime in the history of our country, then we're going to get little satisfaction unless I win, and we'll just have to go, because I won't forget it. But these people should be indicted. This was the greatest political crime in the history of our country, and that includes Obama, and it includes Biden. These are people that spied in my campaign, and we have everything. Now they say they have much more, okay? And I say, Bill, we got plenty.
I think it's interesting that he's on the phone and that he's not, by video.
Look at the Comey report, 78 pages of kill, done by Horowitz. And I have a lot of respect for Horowitz, and he said prosecute. He recommended prosecute.
He's all over the place.
I couldn't believe it, but they didn't do it because they said we have much bigger fish to fry. Well, that's okay. They indicted Flynn for lying, and he didn't lie.
Yes, he did. He most certainly lied.
Stone over nothing. They destroyed lives. So look at Manafort. They sent in a black book that was a phony black book. Phony.
Where's what at, Creed? What are you talking about?
Cash that he got from Ukraine or someplace. And he didn't get any cash. It was a phony book. What they've done to people,
Brennan, John, we're going to have Carter Page coming on. He's going to tell his story, and we just heard from George Papadopoulos. Their lives.
You want to know where is the arrest of Obama and Biden? Is that what you're asking about?
What else is needed to ensure that the American people understand what took place, trampling on American people's rights and liberties before the election?
Look, we have all the evidence in the world. In addition to that, I released everything, every document. I don't care what it pertains to.
The Senate Intelligence Committee says that nothing untoward happened there. So I don't know what they're talking about. I would love for somebody to explain to me what right-wingers mean when they say Russia hoax. I can show you the Mueller report. I actually have. I have to dig it up. I have pages of it highlighted. 100 campaign connections to Russia. over 10 counts of obstruction. The Senate Intelligence Committee report goes even further. So I want to know, I would love for a right-winger to call in and tell me exactly what they mean when they say Russia hoax. What was a hoax? 917-830-4359. Call in and tell me I'm stupid. I dare you. But now you want to talk about crimes? We're getting ready to go through stories through just crime after crime after crime with people in Donald Trump's orbit here. So one of the fundraisers for the RNC and Donald Trump has been charged with illegal foreign lobbying. Now, I don't know what country this is connected to, but I have my guesses. Elliot, is that Brody? Or is it Brody? Brody? A former top political fundraiser for President Donald Trump and the Republican Party has been charged as part of a wide-ranging federal probe into back-channel efforts to influence the Trump administration on behalf of foreign interests. What were their foreign interests? A Malaysian fugitive paid him $6 million to lobby the Justice Department to stop an investigation into him. Okay. Several Malaysians. Malaysia was not the country I would have guessed. I'll admit that I was wrong on that one. I was definitely expecting it to be Ukraine, Russia, one of the satellite countries around it. 2 people involved with the scheme have already pleaded guilty, so they've turned over on him. Where's what at? What are you talking about? Of course he made his fortune in venture capitalism. He also worked closely with George Nader, a convicted pedophile, and advisor to the United Arab Emirates. Because, you know, all the people around Trump and the Republican Party are the best people. And that's why, like, my mind would never, like, they're always talking about pedophiles and shit. That's because they're surrounded by them. It's projection at its finest. I would have never fucking thought about fucking pedophiles. Like, right-wingers obsess over it constantly. Well, that's because it's their business associates and shit. Now, on to Trump's former campaign manager. We played the video of him getting arrested the other day, but if they have it right here, we'll play it again. Because, I mean, it's always fun.
Outside to the backyard to let him just, like, show up. And he was just, like, going irate. And he,
Woo!
like, went back inside. Came back out of his office, like, cocked his handgun. And went back inside.
You got a lot of guns in the house?
I think we have, like, 4 or 5 of them. Yeah.
I bet he does.
Like, rifles like that, or a lot of...
Oh, yeah, there was 10. That's right.
Okay, come out here. That's fine.
Oh, this is a different body camera than we watched the other night.
What's going on? Let's stand in the shade. Don't. I'm not doing anything. Relax. What happened? So, she started saying all this shit.
Wait for it, wait for it, wait for it. Ooh!
I didn't do anything. I didn't do anything. I didn't do anything.
Now, he did indeed do plenty of things.
I didn't do
He hit his wife.
I didn't do anything.
Made repeated threats. So that's always satisfying to watch that video. But now, he broke down in tears while in police custody, admitting to an officer that his wife was not being intimate with him. He broke down in tears to the cop, talking about how he wasn't getting any. This privileged motherfucker. Can you believe this shit? I just couldn't accept she isn't having sex with me. And it was a female officer. What? Not in months. I couldn't accept it. I just kept asking her. He was never charged for the incident. And Candace Parscale fled their home and asked for help from a real estate agent. So this was Trump's campaign manager not years ago, just a few months ago, earlier this year. This man was running the re-election campaign for the current president of the United States. I don't want to have to vote for Joe Biden. But I just want somebody that has competent people around them. So that then I could argue with them and get somewhere and not just argue with the stupidest fucks on the planet. Because fucking right-wingers are morons. And Brad Parscale is a moron. Once at the hospital, Brad also claimed that his wife's call to the police was part of a plot to steal his money. He also vowed in the recordings to divorce his wife. She knows exactly what she is doing. It is the most baller move of all time. It's the most checkmate fuck you move of all time. It's unfucking believable, he said. God damn. And then we've got, okay, earlier in the show, I played the motherfucker that was in the Rose Garden event that was hugging everybody. He probably spread COVID to every fucking body in that fucking garden, except the woman that I saw the meme of that had the face shield that said she was happy with her life decisions that day. This motherfucker tweeted out that democracy isn't the objective. By the way, this was at fucking 1:30 in the morning. Democracy isn't the objective. And I assume it's 1:30 my time, so that means it was like 2:30 a.m. Eastern time. His time, if he's in D.C. Which I assume they are because they're trying to get... Which he might not be on the Judiciary Committee. But they're trying to ram through Amy Coney Barrett. Democracy isn't the objective. Liberty, peace, and prosperity are. We want the human condition to flourish. Rank democracy can thwart that. Now, as many people said in the comments, what the fuck is rank democracy? What the fuck is he talking about? Now, I would love ranked choice voting, where we rank our candidates by preference. And if you're the person you vote for doesn't get the plurality, your vote falls down to your second choice. I would love that. rank democracy like that sounds fantastic to me. I don't know what the fuck Mike Lee is talking about. Democracy is absolutely the objective. Throughout the course of our history as a country, providing more democracy to people has been the march and how we've made the country better. Expanding democracy, because it was a very small set of people that could vote originally. And we've kept expanding it. And Republicans, like Mike Lee, obviously think that's not a good thing. Now, I, as a poor person who wants to have a voice in society, I think it's a very good thing. I would like democracy. Because in our current society, the only power I have is my vote and the recourse to be able to call my senators, congresspeople, and on down the line in my local municipalities and let them know what I think. And send them emails telling them to go fuck themselves. That's my right as an American citizen, and I fucking love that right. Republicans don't fucking believe in it. It boggles my mind how other people can't see it. And they put on this theater, they claim to. Mike Lee can go fuck himself. And I assume his COVID having ass was at home getting drunk, saying stupid shit on Twitter at 2 in the morning. So, as we've already referenced multiple times, because it's been a crazy ass fucking day.
Just last week.
Man, you're fucking with me. So, there was a terrorist plot by a right-wing militia group to abduct the governor of Michigan. And now this is her response. This is the first time I'm listening to it with you guys.
Just last week, the President of the United States stood before the American people and refused to condemn white supremacists and hate groups like these 2 Michigan militia groups. Stand back and stand by, he told them. Stand back and stand by. Hate groups heard the president's words not as a rebuke, but as a rallying cry, as a call to action. When our leaders speak, their words matter. They carry weight. When our leaders meet with, encourage, or fraternize with domestic terrorists, they legitimize their actions, and they are complicit. Just like
she's absolutely right. Now, the Attorney General in Michigan has went on record and says, this is just the tip of the iceberg. Oh, we're going to have an ad. But as you guys know, I've gone over it multiple times. The FBI has been warning about the rise in right-wing violence in this country. I was having an argument with some chuckle fuck on YouTube talking about left-wing violence. I'm like, what are you talking about? It's like, it's not a concern. Terror plot to kidnap the fucking governor. They feel emboldened.
Joining me now is Michigan's Attorney General, Dana Nessel. Madam Attorney General, thank you very much for being with us. First off, how imminent was this threat?
Well, we were obviously concerned that these activities could take place at any time. And, my perspective is this. I would rather have a weak conspiracy case than the strongest homicide case. But that being the case, of course, we think we had substantial evidence in this case. We're not just talking about a bunch of guys sitting around and talking about something. We're talking about a number of overt actions moving towards these actual plots, and not just the ones that you've talked about, of course, involving kidnapping the governor, but many other potential plots as well, taking over and potentially blowing up our state capitol building, threats against law enforcement, threats against other government officials. There's really a lengthy list of things that we were concerned about. And honestly, any of those things could have happened at any time. Certainly, there were preparations that were being made moving towards any or perhaps several of those activities.
U.S. Attorney Schneider said that it's okay to disagree about politics just there in that news conference, but it's never okay to commit violence. What are the politics of this group?
Now, I've been arguing with right-wingers about sedition. I've heard several of them accuse Ilhan Omar of sedition.
It's no secret that
this is sedition.
Groups in Michigan before, and obviously you can go back to the Oklahoma City bombing and see that there was a relationship between Michigan militia groups and that horrible event. But things had died down for quite some time. But I will say that things have escalated.
This is absolutely sedition by the sitting president of the United States.
A few things. First of all, of course, we having a president that seems to condone these types of actions. Certainly, I would say more than dog whistles out there, right? I mean, very good people on both sides. And
you just saw the tweet. I had it up on the screen.
To liberate Michigan. What does that mean exactly? And calls to stand back and stand by when you're talking about the Proud Boys. So this is a president.
All right, so now let's get to the fun part of this, and let's look at that motherfucker's social media. Brandon Caserta. This is like they arrested 12 people. I'm not sure the exact number. Can you guys give me a number on that? How many people were arrested in this plot? This is one of the most prominent on social media, apparently. Arrested 5 men and charged 6 in a plot to kidnap. So 11 total. 6 were arrested. Or they arrested 5 and they charged another 6. What the? They charged 6 and they've arrested 5 of the 6 people they've charged. Is that what's going on? While details of the plot are still scarce, the FBI did release the names of the men behind the effort. So, alright, this dude, What Would Jesus Do, is all about the Kyle Rittenhouse. I mean, that's no surprise. Is that Pepe, or is that like Shrek or something? Well, I don't know what's going on here. He was anti-COVID, because of course he was. Apparently, I cannot go more than a month or two without getting robbed by government thugs for some made-up traffic violation. Brother, I'm over here advocating against it. They robbed me for going around someone who was turning left at a blinking yellow light. Well, that sounds on a one-lane fucking road. There's literally a median built so people can go. See, once again, this is like he thinks the law doesn't apply to him. But I'm sure, you know, when it comes to other ethnicities, they should comply with authority. Probably asserts his authority. Totally a Cartman. Here comes Smokey. What's up, buddy? So if you support police, then you support immoral criminal theft. You would think you'd be in the streets with Black Lives Matter then, wouldn't you? I don't understand the way some of these right-wingers think, but hey, they are morons. Oh no, can I not click the video? Yeah, I was assuming that he was a Boogaloo boy by the shirt. Why give me no TikTok? I wonder if they took his shit down. Let's go try to find him here. Wait, what?
Hey ladies and gentlemen, today we're gonna vote on the Kids Choice Awards 2015, so let's begin. Hang on.
Did he post this video?
Oh, Kids Choice Awards started March 28th. They said you can vote many times.
Did we find the dude? This is this little kid. I'm sorry, little kid. I'm sorry for associating you with a terrorist. My apologies. You have the wrong name today. Antifa anarchist. How are they calling him Antifa? What the fuck? Here we go.
I tell you what's like one of the hardest challenges in life that you'll probably never be able to get away with, and that's to not get robbed by the state. All right, y'all, here's a thought for today. The price of freedom is eternal vigilance, and indifference to this notion is the means by which the people can and will secure their own oppression. Wake the f*** up.
You would think I could find common ground with those libertarian fucks. But ultimately, libertarians are fucking morons too. And they want to do dumb shit like kidnap the democratically elected governor of the state of Michigan. So let's check. There was a profile posted about them earlier in the afternoon here. The existence of a shadowy militia group called the Wolverine Watchmen. See, this says charges against 13 men. That's why I was confused. Have they charged 13 and arrested 5? It said 7 of the men, all of whom were in custody on state charges under 7. Because this was as of 3 o'clock this afternoon. They don't appear to have any online presence and aren't listed among 576 extremist groups. What an interesting face to make in your mugshot. The men also tried to identify the home addresses of law enforcement officials so they could be targeted. Huh. I mean, cool about that. Go for that. Good on you guys. But why can I not find common ground to have with these motherfuckers? I'm anti-authority. I'm especially anti-law enforcement because law enforcement does underhanded fucking shit like what Daniel Cameron has done in Kentucky. So he was on Fox News the other morning. I think it was on Fox and Friends. So let's see what this dumbass has to say.
Sam Ellinger in number 22 Texas. And here we go.
Boo. I'm amazed they're still having college football at the moment. I doubt they're going to be able to get through the whole season.
Attorneys for Breonna Taylor's family calling for a new special prosecutor to reopen the case, while slamming the Kentucky Attorney General for not pressing murder charges against the 3 officers involved. The attorneys writing in an open letter, quote, "You were biased throughout the process and intentionally deprived justice."
We have shown that. We have shown that night after night after night.
Attorney General Daniel Cameron joins us right now to respond. General, good morning to you.
Good morning, Steve. Thank you for having me.
Are you surprised that the family is calling for a special prosecutor in this case?
Well, look, let me just say that in this case, I was the special prosecutor, but this is the
That's true.
model. He goes into a city, creates a narrative, cherry picks facts to establish, to prove that narrative, creates chaos in a community, misrepresents the facts, and then he leaves with his money. And then
He's describing exactly what he did. Now, who he's talking about is one of the lawyers for the family. He's trying to put the blame on everybody but himself.
And then ask the community to pick up the pieces. It is terribly irresponsible on his part to push such narratives, such falsehoods. As the Attorney General, I don't have the luxury of falsehoods. I have the responsibility to the truth, the law, and justice. Ben Crump can make wild accusations and ask for ridiculous things, but at the end of the day, we have dispensed with our responsibility and duty to present the information to the grand jury. We did that in a manner consistent with what the facts and the law are. That's, again, my responsibility as the Attorney General of the Commonwealth
Now,
of Kentucky.
he filed the proceedings today to try to keep...
That night. It looks
He filed a motion today to try to keep that grand jury proceeding secret.
that only one officer would be charged with anything, and that detective pleaded not guilty last week to the only charge, which was wanton endangerment.
It was just for shooting bullets into the neighbors' apartments.
At the end of the day, officers were trying to execute a warrant at Miss Taylor's residence. Her boyfriend, Kenneth Walker, fired a shot.
Yeah, let's talk about that warrant, shall we? The detective who issued the warrant was recommended to be reviewed for criminal charges. Investigators suggested the detective who obtained the Breonna Taylor warrant should be reviewed for criminal action.
For parents to feel comfortable with their children being able to protest peacefully, to demonstrate peacefully, and to be able to let them know their voices are heard.
I feel like it's important to us because we're making our future in the future.
I can't turn this off. I'm so sorry. It's blasting and I can't do anything about it. You motherfuckers.
Many of the cars that drove by honked to show their support.
Whoa, that was weird.
7:32 now.
God damn it, what the fuck?
The calls for justice for Breonna Taylor to a hometown civil rights hero from the past. Saturday's Great Women's March started at the Muhammad Ali Center and ended at the Black Lives Matter mural on West Main Street. After more than 100 days,
Guys, I don't even know where this is coming from. I don't know
the
which.
legacy of Ali to help push their calls for justice forward.
Muhammad Ali's hometown, and he often let you know throughout his life that if you did not love everybody, you could not love him. And even when he took his last breath during his funeral, he demanded that we walk the streets. And so I and his family members...
Holy shit. Sorry. Completely lost my train of thought. God damn it! Turn the fuck off! These autoplay videos kind of suck, don't they? Fucking shit. I don't even know where the story went to I was talking about. Fuck. So, I was really hoping he had something to say about the Megan Thee Stallion performance on SNL, because he kind of got called out there. And I believe he did, so we're going to go back to that video. Really cool performance, if you haven't seen it. I'm a big fan. Alright, let's go back. Daniel Cameron. On fucking Fox News, because of course he went on Fox News. Because I want to know how he feels about getting called out. They're just fucking with me now. Thank you, Fox News. At least I can find and mute your ads. Tubi. Give us audio. There we go.
To reopen the case. Well,
all right, back to Daniel Cameron.
When they returned fire and they hit her, no one disputes that this is a tragedy, but sometimes our criminal justice system, our criminal law, is inadequate to respond to a tragedy. That is the case here. Again, my heart goes out to Breonna Taylor's family, Miss Palmer, all those.
No, it's just you. You want to cover up malfeasance on the part of the cops.
Certainly be everyone's sentiment. The other officer that was at the scene, who was firing into the house, he, in our judgment,
is a fall guy.
Indicted. That was what was recommended to the grand jury, and the grand jury made that decision. And we obviously have to continue prosecuting that case. The other thing I'll make sure that the viewers know is that the department or the FBI continues an investigation into the civil rights matters in this particular case, and we continue to be a partner.
Well, let's fucking hope.
As well.
Right.
Because you dropped the ball as in your investigation.
Say to the people who continue to protest the decisions made in this case, and to the people who have done some rioting as well.
Well, look, I've stood up for peaceful protests since the beginning. You recognize that people will criticize decisions that are made, but at the end of the day, my responsibility is to the truth and to the law.
Apparently not, because we want the truth to come out, and you want to keep it secret.
And then just cherry pick facts to reach that conclusion. I don't have that luxury. My luxury is to make sure that all 120 counties in the Commonwealth of Kentucky are represented in this office, that the facts are gathered, and that they are presented to the grand jury, which is what we did in this case. Look, again, at the end of the day, people, because they established a narrative before.
Now remember, the grand jury, one of the jurors has come out and said, I want to be able to speak because he's not being truthful. And he has the audacity to get on Fox News and say this.
Drawing the facts are going to be upset, but I think most people recognize, because of the facts that have come out in this case, all of the facts that have come out, that the officers were justified in returning fire. Again, the tragedy is that Miss Taylor was hit in that return fire. But again, the responsibility of the Attorney General is to provide the information and the fact.
Not the tragedy that they lied to obtain a warrant. Not the tragedy that the cops were clearly inept. We watched the Vice documentary. which proved it. The other SWAT team that arrived on the scene thought the cops were inept. And he has the audacity to get on TV and say this shit. When we know the facts, we can look at it.
And give that to the grand jury for ultimately them to make the decision.
Well, it certainly was a tragedy.
They say they weren't given the option to make a decision on the other charges.
Was depicted on Saturday Night Live this past weekend, and during a musical performance, the singer mentioned you as well. We're going to play this and then get your reaction. Watch.
Oh, they got it?
Cameron is no different than the sellout Negroes that sold our people into slavery by savages.
We need to protect our black women and love our black women. Because at the end of the day, we need our black women.
Attorney General?
Well, let me just say I agree that we need to love and protect our black women. There's no question about that. But the fact that someone would get on national...
Put your money where your mouth is, bitch.
...disparaging comments about me because I'm simply trying to do my job is disgusting. But it's not the first time we see this, and it certainly won't be the last time we see this. At the end of the day, my responsibility is to provide facts and truth and represent and stand up for justice. I think what you saw there in that display is someone who instead wants to fashion facts to a narrative. That narrative is simply not true in this particular case with Ms. Taylor.
Seriously, what other explanation is there other than projection?
Something that I've had to experience because I'm a black
They live in a fantasy world of cognitive dissonance, and they project, accuse the other side of what you are guilty of. Literal Nazi fucking tactic.
Those are sorts of things that I've heard when I was in college. Again, because I identify with a different political philosophy, and therefore that shapes...
But of course, he's the victim. That's what he's got to turn it around to. He's the victim in all of this. Because he's a Republican. Everybody is out to get him.
The type of intolerance that people...
And people are intolerant to him not upholding the fucking law and lying to the American people on national TV. He's a victim because we don't tolerate that bullshit.
Because I've decided to stand up for truth and justice. But what I will tell you is there are a lot of folks that look like me that aren't scared anymore, that are tired of the...
I'm not tolerant of you because you trample on truth and justice while saying you stand for it, bitch.
We're going to continue to stand up and stand up for truth and justice in this job and in everything else that we do in this country.
Well, sir, we've had lots of questions for you over the last couple of weeks. We thank you very much for dropping by Fox and Friends. Attorney General for the Commonwealth of Kentucky, Daniel Cameron. Sir, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Says he stands for truth. Filed a motion today to make sure that, one, the last little piece of evidence from the grand jury is kept secret. What he actually recommended to them for charges, and that the jurors can't speak on their own. If he has nothing to hide, if he stands for the truth, why would he file that motion? But that was last week's SNL performance. Now we come to this week's SNL performance. Because we've got a little bit of controversy going on. Morgan Wallen was excited as fuck to be the musical guest on Saturday Night Live this coming Saturday. Until a photo surfaced of Morgan and he had to issue an apology. So we're going to listen to his apology.
What's up, guys? It's Morgan.
What's up? What's up, Morgan?
It's a tough video for me to make.
I bet it is.
But a necessary one.
Because remember, what I just showed you was his post on his Facebook about how he was so excited to be up on the board for Saturday Night Live. I don't even know who this dude is. I've never heard a song by him.
I just wanted to let you know ahead of time that I actually did write some stuff down because I got a lot to say. And this is something that I take serious. And I don't want to miss anything that's in my heart. So if you see me looking away from the video for a second, that's why. I'm in New York City in a hotel room. I was getting ready for SNL this Saturday. And I got a call from the show letting me know that I will no longer be able to play. And that's because of COVID protocols, which I understand. I'm not positive for COVID, but my actions this past weekend were pretty short-sighted, and they have obviously affected my long-term goals and my dreams.
Well, because nobody wants to be exposed to your stupid ass.
Because I know that I put them in jeopardy. And I take ownership for this. I'd like to apologize to SNL, to my fans, to my team for bringing me these opportunities. And I let them down. And on a more personal note, I think I have some growing up to do.
I bet.
You know, I think I've lost myself a little bit. I've tried to find joy in the wrong places, and I don't know, it's left me with less joy. So I'm going to go try to work on that. I'm going to take a step back from the spotlight for a little while and go work on myself. I wish I could have made country music and my fans proud this Saturday, but I respect the decision once again, and Lauren Michaels actually gave me a lot of encouragement by letting me know that we'll find another time to make this up. So that means a lot to me. Thank you for that. And
well, yeah, they don't think you're a bad guy. They just think you're stupid for going out to a party all maskless and shit and then kissing random strangers. And they don't want to be exposed to your stupid ass germs. See what TMZ has to say here. Yeah, here's the TikTok of him partying away. Woo! Not that I don't want to hear a song. I don't want to get a copyright strike against me. Yeah, he's just going around kissing random strangers. Now, it takes up to 14 days before you show symptoms. You can test negative one day and test positive the next for up to 14 days. And he is supposed to be on Saturday Night Live on Saturday. I do not blame Lauren Michaels or the cast of Saturday Night Live one bit. I wouldn't want to be around that motherfucker either. And I wouldn't doubt that this incident will cause Saturday Night Live to change their protocols, and they probably won't even be around the musical guests anymore. Which is sad because, you know, one of the best skits, because I thought it was a pretty weak episode of Saturday Night Live all in all, but one of the best skits was the Bottom of Your Mask skit that had Megan Thee Stallion in it. So now what, like, and they're not going to want to be around the musical guests anymore because, like, fuck, dumb fucks like this are going to give them the COVID. Because I'm sure they're wanting to do everything safely so they can stay in the fucking studio. Man, it's not about freedom. It's about, like, this motherfucker doesn't have the freedom to go infect other people with a deadly virus. That's dumb. He's got the freedom to do whatever he wants, but, like, there's consequences to that. And one of the consequences are, like, you don't get to perform on SNL. See you, buddy. That's another thing with right-wingers. I had one the other day tell me that they're all about personal responsibility. Right-wingers never take personal responsibility. Brad Parscale was a fucking bitch because his wife wasn't giving him any pussy. It wasn't his fault. Wasn't Trump's fault he got the COVID. It was the Gold Star families. This dude, I got a lot of growing up to do. I've lost sight of myself. This wasn't the real me. I don't take responsibility. Daniel Cameron isn't going to take responsibility. He's going to do his best to cover up the truth, so he doesn't have to take personal responsibility for the fact that he got on TV and lied to the nation. So I'm tired of hearing about personal responsibility from goddamn right-wingers. Alright, that'll do it for me tonight. Go ahead. Light one up, tip one back. It's alright to have a little fun before you hit the sack. I'm Justin Freakin. We'll see you tomorrow night on the Troll Patrol.